And we are live with, just checking my mic levels here. We're live with the second to the last stream of the year. So I will have a stream next weekend, which will be on the 30th. And that will be the day before New Year's Eve. So that will be the last of the year. But today, I think we need to take a look back and think about what's occurred this year. A lot has occurred in Splinterlands and Golem Overlord. There have been huge jumps forward in both games. So whatever you feel like talking about, just go ahead and throw it in the chat. Gathering, glad to see you here. Thanks for stopping by. Good morning. I hope everyone has a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year's. Splinterlands is ending 23 on a high note. I agree. Now, we can disagree and agree on different things, but I think overall we can agree that, like I just said, the game has made large strides this year. Now, there are some things that there were some tough decisions the team had to make. Let's just leave it at that. And there was decisions along the way, not just with staffing, but decisions on where they put their money. And especially when you have a smaller team, you really have to look at what you tackle as far as projects. And they had to decide what they were going to tackle as far as what they considered the high points or the best projects to move the game along. And I think they did a pretty good job. Do I agree with everything they did? No. But yeah, like you stated, happy holidays to everyone. Whatever you celebrate in your household, I hope it goes well. And most of all, I hope everybody in your house is healthy. Because as you get older, you appreciate your health a lot more. So I'll leave it at that. But yeah, there's been a lot going on, and not just in Splinterlands, in SplinterForge. Also, Golem Overlord has been created basically this year and came a long way. So there's a lot of different movement. There's been a lot of advancement in these different games. So I feel like there's a lot to talk about. So go ahead, stick it in chat if you have something you particularly want to talk about. I think the main thing this week was the release of the SALT section of the white paper, I like to call it. And however you feel about this, like I said, the main thing I see on this is the fact that these are still works in progress. And Matt has been very vocal about saying the way he released it was just so that it can be discussed, and it's not necessarily in its final form. So it's not set in stone. So I would say that if you have different things you don't agree with within the white paper, go ahead and make your voice known. I mean, what's the worst could happen? I mean, he's shown that he's taken people's ideas into account, but you can't make everybody happy, so. What are you looking forward to most in 2024 for Splinterlands, Golem Overlord, or SplinterForge? Well, on the SplinterForge topic, I would hope that my account gets back to working correctly, but because lately in SplinterForge, my account, there's been problems with accounts, and basically my play has been heavily impacted. And it's been he's working on it, but there's not a fix found yet. We did test it on the test server yesterday, and it appears to be fine, so we'll see where that goes. But for the last 2 weeks, I haven't been really able to play correctly. It's not been loading my summoners correctly. I haven't had the right summoners to choose from. So in 2024, I hope he gets that ironed out, and we get back to playing normally as far as SplinterForge goes. Now, good question, though. In Splinterlands, what am I, or I'll throw it back at you guys too, what are you looking forward to in Splinterlands in 2024? I think top of my, I'm looking forward to the land 2.0 or phase 2 white paper getting ironed out more, and some of these things that I see that could possibly need some tweaks be tweaked. So like the salt market, the whole salt thing, I think they've went a little bit heavy on the whole different layers of taxation and fees within land, right? You know me, ever since land's come out, I've been really into land. Hey, Wibble, thanks for dropping by. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to you as well. But I think that at a certain point, there's just too many taxes and fees. And I do understand his point that if you don't get a fine median there, that the whole system will be abused and people will come in and just farm the system. We all know how that goes because we've been fighting it on the other side, on the card side, play side, since the game has started, right? Or since the bull market a couple years ago. And I don't want that to happen, but I can also foresee a stagnation. I've already seen a stagnation in the market. Okay, so the prices aren't necessarily going down much, but they're also not going up. And I see a lot of this land just sits on the market and sits on the market. And for me, I can just speak for myself, okay? I haven't bought any land. I guess the last plot I bought was a couple weeks ago. And I would be really into buying more land. And I've done videos on that stating that in the past. But as I've seen all these fees come about, I've become very dubious about going ahead and buying more land. Am I anti-land? No. This last week, I took, I guess my biggest step last week in this last week as far as land goes was I was in one region, and I know this is getting off topic, but I was kind of addressing my whole what am I looking for in 2024 point. In one region, I was building up a lot of grain. I was producing a lot more grain than what I needed, okay? And I wanted to come to more of a fine line as far as a median. I don't mind producing more grain, but I would rather have it be more balanced. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to go ahead and switch one plot over from harvesting grain to SPS. Gather a little bit more SPS, a little bit less grain. I should have went with a common land, but I chose to switch over a rare land. And when the numbers came, when after the 24 hours it came through, I found out that I was just a hair off and I was underproducing just by like 10 grain an hour. But it was enough to bother me. So what I did was hey, Ike, thanks for dropping by. Good afternoon. And happy holidays to you and yours. Hope everyone's healthy over there in everybody's houses. Hate having holidays when you have sick people. It's the worst. But anyway, so there was one plot left in the region that I did not have a totem on, so I went ahead and bought a totem. And I found that it was actually cheaper to buy a pre-put together totem than it was to buy totem fragments. I was thinking, let's go over here to the market, just let's refresh. For some reason it didn't want to load. Yes, I have some more brawls and my combat ends in 15 minutes. So you guys might have to put up with me doing some brawls here. I have to switch over and oh man, this is poorly timed. I should have done my brawls this morning. Will you guys sit through watching me? I can't dump my brawls here. If I do something wrong, if you guys would do something different, just let me know. But I don't want to miss my brawls. Ike says, been reading and rereading them. A little work to go through. Yeah. Monsters will... No melee monsters. And so let's go with... sorry about this, guys, but I don't want to miss my... no melee monsters. Let's go with this. Let's go up front with USUT. And do I have enough mana? I got 38 mana. No, you know what? Yeah, let's put him up front, then back him up with some archers. This is uncommon for me. This is just poor timing on my part. I think I'm going to throw the Venari Marksrat in front of the USUT to try to get that bonus. I need to throw in a Whistling Daemon. I have 4 mana left. Let's see what I can get for 4 mana. I'm going to go throwing in the Ravenhood Warden. And I lost. Terrible. I'm doing bad this week. I am doing terrible. I'm fighting in gold. I should really be fighting in silver. This is why I'm saving up as many time crystals as I can. Curious to see what the building costs will be. How much wood, stone. Yeah, I'm thinking about that too. And that is really, you know, it goes all into the conversation about how much extra costs there's going to be on land. Go ahead and take this off. Kind of embarrassed about how bad I'm doing this week. I'll just put it back on. All monsters have knockout. I always default to kind of a heavy melee when this comes up. Might be right or wrong. Let's go in with, I like Fiona. I'm going to put Grum up front. Who do I want in the secondary? Sometimes I throw Radiated Brood in there. With Uraeus. Sorry about this, guys. I just needed to get my battles in. Let's go ahead and throw Radiated Brood in the second position. Let's see who I've got. I kind of like this guy. And then go in with the 0 mana cost. Hey, I won that one. Sorry, I'm trying to do this quickly and keep up with comments. Yeah, as far as the building costs, that's kind of comes to me. I know that's part of the overall continuing to pay into the game, but at a certain point, if you watch one of my videos, I feel that, you know, I've put a lot into what I've got currently, and I think it's fair to try to see a little bit of profit off that. I mean, at this point, I've got 11 plots, and I've put, if I stopped and did the numbers, it's over $2,000 in 11 plots, right? So I think it's fair to say that I should see a little bit of, start seeing a little bit of profit, right? Which I am. I mean, I'm keeping a spreadsheet. I'll plop this up here. So I've harvested at this point since the beginning about 436 SPS. And you can see the other numbers here. It's a little bit over 2,900 research, and then 749,000 grain. But that is all this is after taxes. But this does not account for what my what all my workers actually ate. So yeah, I can see in guild they were yelling at me. I was spacing it. I was doing a couple. I was getting ready for the holidays this morning, and I was just spacing it, and I missed my timing on my guild brawls, which I should have done earlier. Okay, let's see. Aim true. Are you entertained? Let's go in with green. Let's see. Let's do... I got 57 mana. Let's try a Lob Lowland. Let's go in with Quora up front. Let's see what else I got in the 10 mana plus. I love the Ancient Redwood. I know I only have him at level 1, but for some reason I really like him. Should I put the Tenacious Hulk up front and Quora behind him? And then I like Katrelba. And throw in a healer. I've got 7 mana left. Let's round it off with a Gargoyle Devil. He's hard to hit. Okay, let's see what that does. Let's see. He came out with the... Oh, he came out up front with the Venari Marksrat. Let's just go ahead and skip. He beat me. As usual, banish Quora. I was surprised I could bring Quora in that last one. Usually can't. Going the distance, only monsters with range. Okay, so this has got to be primarily ranged. I'm going to go in with... Oh, and it is silenced. So I'm going in with Death. I feel like Death is my primary, my strongest range. I like Lisa, I like Lyra. I like the Damn Fierce Stalker. Who am I going to put up front? After I get done with this, I'll catch up with chat. Sorry about this. I don't know whether I should go in first with Runic Skyclaw. He'd be hard to hit. I do want the Ravenhood Warden in there. I'm going to rearrange this a little bit. I'm going to put the Runic Skyclaw up front. I've got 3 mana left. Venari Marksrat, I'm going up front for that buff. And I won that one. Nice. Yeah, I'm doing terrible this week. Hey, Lawrence, thanks for dropping by. Yeah, I mistimed my brawls, and I'm trying to get all my brawls in, but I'll get back to catching up with chat. Sorry about that. One more brawl to go. Doing terrible this week. I should really be fighting in silver, but I am fighting in gold. And I'm hit or miss. Some weeks I will do great. I don't know about the matchmaking. I don't know how you guys feel about that. It seems like some weeks I'll play in gold and I'll do great. And then some weeks I will just get flattened. My decisions, or I'm being matched up against somebody. I don't know. Okay, so we got Banish Lux Vega. We got Up Close and Personal. We've got Even Stevens, and we've got Holy Protection. I feel like I'm going to go in with, I would usually go in with water. I might try a life. Let's try a life. I haven't done a life hand in this round, so... Oh, I've only got 12. So I'm going to go in with the Zenith Monk up front. And I feel like a Celestial Harpy. I've got 4 mana left. I can throw in a 0 mana guy. Maybe the Volqueen? And Venator Kinjo. No, I don't think that's a good call. 2. That's about my only call. I've got the battering ram, which has opportunity, but Kinjo throws a slow in there. I don't know. Of course, I got the chicken I can throw in there. Let's see. An error has occurred. Okay, well, I did not win that one. I figured I'd win that. Let's do a replay on that. So he came in with, thorns. He came in thorns, and thorns beat me. Oh, the Windiku also has the healing. Yeah. Okay, we'll skip that. Okay, I got my battles in once again. I am not going into diamond. I've been staying in gold lately. Okay, sorry about that. Bad timing on my part. Let's go ahead and catch up with chat. So overall, Gathering had posed the question, what's everybody looking forward in 2024? Whether you're playing mainly, I think we're all mainly playing Splinterlands, but also in SplinterForge, Golem Overlord, TerraCore, whatever you have been playing. Just go ahead and throw that in chat. Let's see here. This is why I have been saving up as many time crystals as I can. Yeah, you've been talking about that. What are they going for now? Let's look on the market. Other items. Let's see what the time crystals are going for today. So about 8 cents. About 8 cents. You can still buy them for less than you can off so they've been fluctuating a little bit, but it's still great to just buy them off the secondhand market rather than buying off the game. Fees are the same thing as Golem Overlord, to burn a lot, keeping the numbers down. But like I said before, just make grain, plenty make. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I know what you're saying. I saw your comment. I look at all the comments in the videos. I guess the main way I can put it is there's going to be a tipping point, and the tipping point is where there are too many fees and people see too many fees or taxes or what have you levied against land, and people just start saying, it's just not worth it. You come to that point, and like I said, I've got 11 plots. I've put more than $2,000 into those 11 plots, okay? And I know that's not big compared to some of you guys, right? I understand that. But, I mean, extrapolated out, I still feel how much ever money you should put in there, you've put into the lane game, we should not feel bad about wanting to start seeing a little bit back for our money. Do I want to see huge returns up front? No. Do I understand that it's a long-term game? Of course, but we've all been told that about the card game as well. So I don't think I'm off wanting to see a little bit out of it, you know? So, and to not want like a lot of extra layers of taxation. So I do understand, and it's a multifaceted discussion point. That's why I'm throwing it out there, seeing what everybody has to say about it. Plus, it may take 10,000 EC to construct a building. Half of you use vouchers. That's true. That 10,000 seems to be like the round number that's been used a lot, and or if you have the building in the box, then you can bypass that, right? And they seem to obviously one of the things is they want to bring more utility to vouchers, because there's some people that have a lot of vouchers build up. And need some utility for them. So the interesting part is to see what value they will put on those vouchers, because I think in the past they put value on the vouchers and people have felt that it should be a little bit more. But once again, it's a fine line there, what you place on that, right? because it'll heavily impact the market, because then if you put it too high, then people will start dumping all their vouchers and it'll affect the other markets, right? No more DEC to pay. We already have this staked on plots dark energy. Well, to tell you the truth, that's one of the things that's affecting me buying more plots, because one of the things I'm immediately thinking when I go to buy a plot is, oh, that's going to take another 50,000. And I understand you don't have to do it with max cards, but my way of thinking is, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to at least do it with max level cards. Okay, so I'm figuring all those prices in. Yeah, there's a lot of different ways you can go into it and stake 1 or 2 cards and maybe not max level cards. But the way I'm approaching it is, if I'm going to invest in a plot, it's going to have max level cards. Now, it's not going to be max level huge beta or alpha cards, no. But if I'm going to put a card on that and stake it, it's probably going to be max level, which is going to take the 10,000 DEC per card, which even if you buy a common plot, say I go in and buy a common plot for whatever, 39. In my particular regions, the common plots are going for about $50 if you can find one, you know. And then another $50 of DEC staked on top of that, and that's before you even get to what cards do I need to put on these, you know? So the costs go up really quickly. So, okay, let's see. Once again, back to gathering. My guild, T and A3, is almost dead. My wife and I are thinking of joining Axler's guild. I haven't had a lot of discussion with Axler. I know everybody is loving his new add-on. Well, he's had the add-on for a while, but the new functionality with the land, everybody seems to like it. And from what I've heard from him, seems like an amiable guy, you know. So I've been in the guild I'm in since the very beginning I started. Frankly, the guild was created by a guy who created another game on the Wax blockchain. Let's see, I'm pulling it up just because I want to get the name correct. It's called Nova Rally. I don't play it currently. I would like to get into play. It's about racing, okay? And it's a blockchain game that occurs on the Wax blockchain. And it's about buying cars and racing them with people. So that's about all I can tell you about it, because I haven't kept up with it. But he seems like a nice guy. Anyway, I originally got into it because I was, and I'm leaning over here to get the correct name of that game, is called Alien Worlds, which is also on the Wax blockchain. I got into it because he originally bought a plot of land, and back then the plot of land in the Alien Worlds, and I don't know what they're going for now, but they were like $10,000-$15,000. That's what we're talking about. And this was in the heyday. This was in the bull market, right? And he had this idea of everybody owning a portion and getting back from the land and everything. I liked it. I joined his guild, and we all profited off of the. I think we owned like 10 plots of land at that point in time, and everybody, it was a cool idea. Anyway, he ended up creating a guild in Splinterlands, and I started playing Splinterlands and joined that guild. Now, I'm still in that guild. The guild is renamed because since that point in time, and since he's gotten more into the production of his game, he has ducked out of playing Splinterlands because he's busy with his game, right? And the game is run, or our guild is run by somebody else, but I've stayed in this. I've had a good luck with this guild, and I've invested a decent amount, not a huge amount, like I'm not a big player in the game, not a whale or anything, but we've come to a good position in the game. So I wish I could do better, but since the change since land's come out and I've put most of my money into land, I've stopped buying the new cards. That's one thing I would like to do. I would like to how is this? I was just looking at this last battle I had, and I just happened to see that this person has 0 ranking. How does that person get ranked up against me? And secondly, how did he beat me? Oh, that was the brawl. That was the brawl. How was I in a brawl with somebody that has 0 ranking? I don't know. Anyway, I'm good at getting off topic. Okay. Ike says that grain is worth about 37 1,750K. Tails, thanks for dropping by. I appreciate it. I'm just catching up with chat. Thanks for dropping by. I appreciate it. Alex, I'm skimming down. Lawrence, thanks everybody for dropping by. And I want to go ahead and say it again. It's coming towards the end of the year. We will have one more before the end of the year, one more live stream next weekend. I just want to take a minute and say thanks for dropping by my live streams on a weekly basis, however often you can make it, and discuss mostly Splinterlands, but other topics as well. I do appreciate it, and I hope to keep going through the next year. And I would appreciate it if you take a minute and after this show is over and drop in the comments of this show once it's posted just something you'd like to see out of the show, something you'd like me to put more emphasis on next year, or maybe something I haven't covered that you would like me to see me cover, and give me some ideas, because at a certain point I go over and I review, like what's been happening and stuff, but good ideas help, So anyway, thanks, and I hope everyone has a happy and healthy holidays as well. So let's see here. It is also concerning if the SPS reward pool for land goes away in Land 2.0. That is a significant amount of value, money-wise, per day that would go away, making the land value proposition even worse. Yeah, I've mentioned this in the past, and I got poo-pooed about that. I think one of the main things that people bought land about is to make some SPS. And then I got piled on when I started talking about that, and they're like, oh, it's the long game, oh, it's about creating cars, and I agree, but I also agree that there's many different ways to play the land game, and I don't necessarily think that the SPS mining should go away. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. I do understand what they're saying, that if they take SPS mining out of the land game, then that would most likely prop SPS up, the value up a little bit more. So I do agree with that part, but I do also agree that there's a lot of people that got into the land game to mine SPS. So the other thought on the back of my mind is, what will happen at Land 2.0 when it goes live? Are we going to see a bunch of people that actually bought plots specifically, like, say, for instance, you got in and you're like, oh, I want to mine some SPS. I'm going to spend a decent amount of money on occupied plots to get that bonus, and mine hard and heavy through 1.5. And then when 2.0 comes out, dump the land, sell off. I've made my profit, right? Or hopefully you've made your profit at that point, right? Remains to be seen, right? But I do agree with your point gathering. Or Tails. That was from Tails. If land falters in the first few weeks because of excess fees and maintenance costs, they may adjust the fees so that everybody doesn't quit land. Yeah, I agree. He does seem very flexible, and obviously he doesn't want to see his game fail, right? It would be better to keep the game going, keep people interested in land, and earn less fees here and there than to have people start bailing, right? So obviously it's a fine line. I'm not going to profess to be an expert on the situation because, like he said and like the team has said, they're doing something that hasn't been done before, really, right? So there's clearly, what it takes for a team to create a good game. And then on the other side, there's the whole situation with the interfacing and the different coins and the crypto part, what it takes to make a game stay healthy, be able to pay its team, that is making it, and actually produce some value for everybody investing in the infrastructure. I'm not complaining from a point that I want the game to fail, or I'm just complaining to throw salt on an open wound. I'm just trying to bring things up that hopefully are looked at and may get some action taken to improve the game, right? Because obviously I put what I consider a decent amount of money in it, and what my wife considers probably more than I should have. But either way, and I like to talk to all you guys who are interested in the same thing on a weekly basis. Santa Spirit from Lawrence Brake. Yeah, I was getting ready to start the show, and I'm like, hey, it's almost Christmas. I should have a Santa hat on. And you know what? I don't even own a Santa hat. This is my daughter's, and it didn't really fit me well, so my wife had to stretch it out a little bit because I've got a big old fat head. But I'm trying to get in that spirit, and we've been doing the Christmas stuff, getting ready. We have to go to the grocery store later on, pick up some groceries to make some Christmas food. You know, the typical thing. We're not having a bunch of family over. It's just us three, but we do like to have a little bit of a celebration, right? So the main thing I'm looking at is I got sick a couple weeks ago. I'm glad that's done with. I hope that everybody in your household is healthy for whatever holidays you go through. What do I want to say? Observe in your household. Hope everything goes smoothly and everybody's healthy. Now, let's go on with chat. Shows a way, Aki says, shows a way to reduce attacks with salt. Yeah, I understand. But then there's a whole discussion about should there even be a layer of salt. I thought the salt idea was funny, you know, because of, you know, guys like me who are considered the salty guys. But at a certain point, you also look at it, and that's just like an extra level of fees they've thrown on there to justify the salt. So I don't necessarily think that it's a bad system. I think that maybe the numbers need to be tweaked, and they haven't put out the final numbers. So I don't know exactly, you know, I think the cost should be moderated because there's a lot of different factors to consider on that salt paper, right? You know, and I think I was thinking about this earlier. This is one of the main systems. I think that you know, we go back to that discussion point of what makes a plot different that is in a region that's heavily occupied, staked out, working. There's a lot of people that are staked out and working, and a region that people are flipping a lot, and there's not a lot of people staked out and everything like that. I think this is going to be one of the things that's going to heavily impact those people. So say, for instance, you scooped up a good deal on a plot in a region that people are flipping the land a lot and there's not a lot staked out. Well, you're going to have to bear a lot, the bull's share of the salt in that region to be able to get those bonuses, right? To get your desalinization rate up, you know? Because there's not going to be as many people to share that load, you know? That's just one of the things I was thinking about. But luckily everything's fluid, right? So all I can say is if you have an idea, Matt seems very receptive, put the ideas out there, and if it's a big enough idea, you know, you can put it out there in effect in a DAO proposal. Obviously, that's a little bit expensive, so it would have to be a really good idea and really worth putting in the DAO proposal, but that's always an option as well. So Alex B says, I got 200 crystals, may want more, was 6.5 second hand. Yeah, that's a nice price, now up to 7. Yeah, I've seen them around the 7. If you can get them for less than 7, you're doing good. But I think back to Gathering's point, I think that the crystals are going to come in handy throughout this land game. So having yourself a little bit of a stock of them when you can find a good deal on them, I think is going to be a good thing. Especially like I've done, like this week, I changed over a land from producing one thing to another, and I looked at the price of. So I switched from producing food to to mining SPS, and I could have automatically done it for 50 crystals, but what I would make back in SPS in 24 hours was not more than that, so I just went ahead and waited the 24 hours. Now, if the prices were flipped, then I would have done it automatically, but the math didn't work out. But either way, I think the crystals are going to come in handy, have you a little bit in your back pocket for whenever you need them, when you can find a good deal. And Alex B also agrees the taxes are way too high. Gathering says the key will be how many people that only have 1 or 2 plots will be able to make enough to keep playing. Yeah, in my video this last week, and I didn't want to kind of beat it too much. I like to bring up these ideas and I like to state my opinion, but I don't want to, kick a dead horse, because all of this is still fluid. None of this is set in stone. The way he's released the white papers, it's very good. There's still very much discussion topics. You can get your idea out there, get it heard, and taken into account. But I do agree, on one of my videos, I came down to the point of, with everything we've found released, what exactly will a 1 or 2 plotter get you? I think in my main brain, obviously Ike said to produce food, we'll always need food, but with everything you have staked, and with Matt's statement about not being able to really make a profit off of just, mining wood or creating food and selling it on the market. His main point was you need to be able to create the cards. That's going to be the main profit point. I always like the idea of not having to create. I like the idea of creating the cards, right? I think it's going to be a great system. I think it's going to be a great addition to the game. But I also like the idea of, hey, I just want to be a farmer, or I just want to chop wood and make planks and sell them on the market. I don't care if I make this huge profit, but I do want to see a profit to make it worth it, right? So Lauren says, I am also concerned that there are too many mechanics for land, 6 plot holder. That's crossed my mind, and I've talked about that before. As things get more complicated, some people like a more complicated system. It drives some people away. I've stated this before. This is kind of why I don't play Magic the Gathering anymore. I think it got way too complicated at a certain point, and it drove me away. Similar situation here. Not only is the multiple layers of taxation and fees and everything going up, but with each other level, it just gets more complicated, more things to think about. Obviously, it has to be complicated to a certain point so that their grand vision of 50 resources, did it have to be 50? I don't know. 30 different types of buildings. It's going to be very in depth. But when you look at similar game, and I say similar lightly, like compared to like a Civ game or something like that, they're pretty in depth too. So they sold nodes for a bunch of money, then they did nothing with it, and the only way that these people could get any money back was by selling vouchers, and the price of vouchers went all the way down. Yeah, I did not buy a node, but my brother did, and once in a while I hear from him, I wish they would do something with vouchers, right? But I agree. At that point in time, and I haven't checked the price lately, but the price was just too much for me to throw in. And in my opinion, those people that did buy nodes were very strongly behind the game and very interested in progressing the game and being very interested in it, put a lot of money into nodes, and they really went nowhere. And I agree with you. And even it'll be interesting to see if they even make it to their list of being worked on in 2024 when Matt brings that out in January. Right? He briefly discussed that on the last town hall and kind of brushed it under the rug. I would think that if I were a node holder, I'd want a little bit more. And I agree. I can see it from his side. I can see it that is probably a huge project that would take several people, a whole team working on, and he doesn't have that. But at the same time, he's got this whole group of people that put this huge amount of money into the game that's just sitting there drawing vouchers, which he's trying to prop up and give more value. So I guess he's approaching it from that point of view. Are they ever going to do anything with nodes? To Gathering's point, seems like they have forgotten nodes in Soulkeep. Well, he talked about these both on the last town hall. Soulkeep, he wants to farm out to another development team, but he discussed it, and basically he he wants them to be much more in line with their the Splinterlands team overall view of the game. In other words, he doesn't just want to release Soulkeep and plop it down and it just like not have any further development, stuff like that. I can't really get into it. I do have some. I have like 25 packs, but I mainly, if you see my video from yesterday, I love tower defense games. In fact, I'm playing that new one, and I released a video. If you like tower defense games, go ahead and check that out. Watcher of Realms. It's not Web 3, it's Web 2, but it's a fun game. But when I caught when I viewed the artwork of their tower defense game, I didn't really like it. Yeah, hopefully they will get a team lined up to go ahead and finish the development. That they've already said that Double Coconut did a pretty good job on the game. It's just there's further development to bring it to fruition, really. So as far as the nodes, he kind of scraped that under the rug, with a few statements, right? So like I said, I would hope that he would bring more. I think he's trying to approach it by bringing more value to the voucher and hopefully, but in the big picture of things, I love the idea of what the nodes were going to do for the game. So hopefully that comes to fruition. I don't foresee that in 2024, but we'll have to wait and see the roadmap. So. Lawrence says, I joined a guild about 4 months ago after 2+ years, no guild. What a dummy I was for not joining sooner. Yeah, when I do videos talking about towards, new users of Splinterlands, I always talk about, you need to join a guild because there's so much, it brings several different things to your daily play and strengthens your account and things like that. So I do agree a guild is a good thing to be a member of. It also gives you a group of people to converse with and play guild brawls with and stuff like that. And that can only be good, right? I mean, once in a while you get some bad apples, but they usually don't last in guilds. They usually figure out they're not, maybe they're the wrong personality to fit in the guild or something like that, and they end up leaving. In Crypto Stash Guild, since he was the only one joined me up for Splinterlands. I remember Crypto Stash. I remember at the very beginning watching some videos. I haven't watched any videos of his lately. He was always very entertaining. Might have to look into some more of his videos and check out what he's doing lately. Let's see here. Remember to hit the like button. Yes, please. I would appreciate it. Give me a like and subscribe if you're not currently subscribed, because you know how the YouTube algorithm goes. Just to get more action on the videos. I do appreciate it. Merry Christmas to Mystic Force. Yes, Merry Christmas right back at you. Hope you're healthy and everybody in your family is healthy there. Thinking of doing a weekly market update. Maybe you could do that. Check pack prices, gold foil prices, alpha prices, etc. week to week. Would be pretty interesting. It would be more like a news update kind of thing. Might be interesting. I can tell you that I haven't really been keeping track of pack prices, but the gold foil prices, you know that I've been specifically using gold foil commons at max level. Let's go ahead and just kind of do a peek at the card market. Let's go ahead. Okay, so, okay, that's sorted correctly. So we can see Lava Spider, a bulk buy on that. Max level is $14. Okay, so just to give you an example, about 3 months ago when we first started talking about this whole buying cards to get prepared for land thing, maybe 4 months ago at this point, I was buying Lava Spiders for about max level for about $5. So they're almost triple, and that's the cheapest one. So I can say that just from my point of view, gold foil commons sorted by BCX ascending and buying a max level has went up roughly 3 times. And I think we've seen a lot of those being stripped off the market. So And it just depends. I haven't bought a lot of other cards. Let's take a look at regular foil legendaries, because these are the other ones I was buying for use on land. And these about $10. These have went up a little bit as well. I think I was buying Jin Bilka for about $6 or $7, so it's went up like one time, 50%. It's went up about 50%. So they have continued to go up a little bit. I think what we thought was going to happen when land went live has come to fruition. Cards have largely gone up. Land has went up a little bit. Let's go back to land. I remember directly before 1.5 went live, the prices were dipping below $30, right? They were, and in certain areas, not so much. But I was just looking at the cheapest stuff. So the cheapest stuff, the cheapest commons have largely come up like about $10 or so. And I think the higher rarities have went up a little bit more. And obviously it also depends upon what region you're in. Because like the region I'm in, let's go over here. The two regions I look at specifically. Let's look at 133. So there's only a few on sale in the whole region, and they're starting at $49.99 for common, right? And you go back, let's go back and look at my other region in 114. Once again, only a few in the region on sale, and the cheapest is actually a rare Caldera at 85. And there's some people that just haven't really touched their land. They put it for a price for a couple months ago and just never really touched it, left it there. But you can see a lot of people are, I think the value, to tell you the truth, just one takeaway here, I think the value right now is scooping up some of the 5% lands. The canyons and the other ones that only give 5%. And I'll give you a reason why. The reason why people are trying to dump them a little bit cheaper, and Matt has stated that they're going to look into this. They understand that people don't like the 5% versus 10%. Now, he didn't say he was going to raise them to 10%, but they said they were going to look into basically buffing them. So I think there is a value in not necessarily dumping your canyons and whatever that have the 5% on them at this point, because they are going to look into them and make them better in some way. So I don't think they're worth dumping right now, and they might be a deal if you can find on them that other people are dumping. Like this person, Atrox, seems to be selling off most of his canyons in this one particular area. So. Catching up with chat. I need grain producing plots. Sadly, none for sale in my regions at a good price. Yep, like I just showed you in the regions I'm looking at, same kind of idea. I think that people have settled in some particular areas. I think some people have just pulled back their sales because they can see that they're not going to get out of the land plots what they want. Like there's a lot of I was thinking about myself with 11 plots. If I had to average out and just pulling out the epic, which would skew the rest of the numbers with my rares and commons, I think the average price I paid for a plot of land was probably around $65 or so, considering rares and commons I bought. The epic was $200. I can see some people like myself, I would probably just not sell a plot of land and sit on it versus taking a loss and just wait for the future. That would be mine. But some people just want to dump on it, especially if you own a whole region or something like that. You got to make some decisions on what you're going to sell off to use, move money around, use it for different things. I would actually like a small section when you focused on one basic lineup or basic mechanic of the game. Good idea. My problem is I don't play the game a lot, and I I do want to look into the new card set, into Rebellion, but I haven't opened any packs, and also, to tell you the truth, I'm not the best player. So I do play in gold, I do play my brawls, and some weeks I'm good, some weeks I'm not so good. And I do allow Archmage to play my game for me in most cases. But who knows how the game plays. I mean, if they end up getting rid of bots fully, I'll probably end up playing again and getting back on the horse, so to speak. For that matter, Archmage was down this last week because they were transferring their... they were bringing up more, changing over the way their data is hold. So Archmage isn't exactly playing right now. It is playing, but they're playing on a band-aided old data set or something like that. So it's not exactly doing the best right now. So they're still working on that. But thanks for the idea, Lawrence. You can find produce to make and your make money. Okay, need a more active trade channel for land plots. Yep, I agree. They will probably add a 5% boost for neutral splinters to canyons and tundras. That way, they have a total 20% bonus across 4 splinters. Interesting. That'll be interesting. I still think that people would default to the 10%ers just from a higher percentage overall. I liked the idea. It was an interesting idea. I can see when you're laying out these different lands and the idea behind being more flexible with cards, having more choices to be able to stake on those cards. But at the same time, I can't speak for everybody, but I went in and bought cards specifically to stake on land. I think in every situation for all 11 of my plots, I bought each one of those cards specifically to stake on land. They weren't something I was playing with. Now, when I bought them, I did play with them for a while before Land 1.5 was released. But once it went live, I did go ahead and stake those and lost the use of playing those. I do like the idea, kind of skipping to a different topic, I do like the idea with the battle wagons and that whole process that's going to go live in January at some point. I do like that when you stake cards, you can still use them. I do like that. So I will probably buy some of the new summoners, and I probably will buy them at gold level. So level 6 or whatever level is appropriate, level 3 if they're legendary, and probably stake those on my battle wagon and still play with them. That's probably what I'll do. But so we're coming to the bottom of the hour, and if anybody has any final words, go ahead and throw them in there. Like I said, I thank everybody for stopping by my shows and watching my videos this last year. Hopefully we can keep going in the new year and come up with newer topics. And like I said, I'm looking forward to the game. We didn't cover anything with Golem Overlord, but Golem Overlord has been making very good strides. We can jump over here. The whole quest situation that he's brought online in the last couple of weeks has been really great and really breathed new air, fresh air into the game. I mean, just going through the quests, doing the daily quests, I've really got a lot of stuff in my inventory now that I was noticing. Gathering says, how is your Golem Overlord account doing? The guild is doing, yeah, I love the daily quests as well, but I was just going to bring it up here. Look at all this stuff. And a lot of this stuff I didn't necessarily buy. I didn't buy most of this stuff. Most of this stuff just came from doing quests. Now, on the new daily quest, you do end up spending some shard to open up the chests, right? So you end up spending a little bit, considering you could dump the shard and sell it off. But I wasn't dumping the shard anyway. I was just saving it. But look at all this stuff I accumulated through just doing quests. And I haven't really done a lot. This last week, one thing I did do was one of the quests, first 3-star, I put this in guild chat, but the first 3-star quest I ever got required that I, a couple different things, or 3 different things, but one of the main things was that I had to spend 75 pyrite on increasing the quality of my module. So I did increase the quality of this module. I actually increased it 2 levels, and it ended up costing me like a little bit over 100 pyrite. But all that pyrite I had gotten through quests and stuff. So I just dumped it all into my pyrite pile, basically, and then increased. And basically this increased the level of my superior amplifier. It brought my power up by 2. It brought my prevent repair on failed attack by 2, and it brought my energy up by 1. So that's a good thing. And I also have another module that I need to detangle, which in this game is basically like making a card unsoulbound so you can sell it on the market. So that was his whole situation. So I need to do that and sell off another module because I do still want to increase the rarity of my background. My background is still purple. I would like to get a little bit better of a background, but the yellows or the invaluables, the cheapest one is still going for 70 Hive. And last time I checked, a Hive is like about 35 or 40 cents. So not exactly cheap, but if you're not familiar with Golem Overlord, the background you keep in place adds to your shard claim multiplier, which makes everything better. Gives you more shards, basically. So that's where I stand. And I completely agree. The whole addition of quests, as well as the daily quests, has really breathed new life into the game. So I need to get some advisors. Hope we get one as a quest reward. That's the thing. I have a bunch of I now in my inventory, if you've been doing quests, you likely have some crates to open. And you may get some in the crates. I'm spinning down here. I had some blue crates. So, oh, I have purple. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 trinket crates. And I had some others too. No. So I've got at least 5 crates, and I've got a Vista Trove too. And all this stuff was this was not given to me. This all just came through quests. I have talked to the developer back and forth because I've been doing videos for it, but he hasn't really given me anything. So I'm just doing videos because I like playing the game. He's still working on the whole tech section here though. But I do agree overall that the quests are it's really heading in the right direction. I just swapped some part for shard if I need shards. Yeah, and that's one of the things being on the Hive blockchain. You can swap your tokens back and forth if you have a little extra over here, what have you. Wonder when expeditions mode will drop. Maybe a Christmas surprise. Oh, I don't know. But one thing he's good at is surprises, because he'll just drop something into Discord and be like, "Hey, here's this huge thing I've been working on." But anyway, it's the bottom of the hour. I'm a little bit over. Once again, thanks everybody for dropping by. I hope everybody has a good set of holidays, whatever you observe on your end, and I hope everybody on your side is happy and healthy. And like I said, check out this video when it posts, and in the comments, just leave a comment what you would like to see from the channel in 2024, and I'll try to work on it. Once again, trying to bring everybody together to discuss Hive blockchain and other blockchain games. Have a good set of holidays. I will see you on the flip side.